Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm very happy to share some views about the public engagement experience in France regarding the energy mix and more specifically the nuclear. My purpose is not at all to say that everything is perfect in the process of public engagement in France, and you will see in these short 10 minutes that I have some personal comments, even criticism in the process in France. But however, if some of the good practices can be shared and give some adaptation in the Hong Kong situation, I will be happy of that. Where are we coming from? In the French electricity mix, only 2 or 3 points just to give the background. 78, almost 80% of the energy produced, electricity produced, comes from nuclear. More than 90% without greenhouse gas emission thanks to hydro, renewable, more than 13% of renewable now, and nuclear. However, and also for the household, good price of electricity, one of the lowest in Europe, as you can see. But nothing is perfect, and the energy bills still have a large amount of imported oil for the transportation sector. And another point I wanted to mention is that energy poverty concerns more than 3 million families in France. So even if we are a rich country and a well-equipped country regarding the energy and the electricity, the energy poverty is a concern in France. What are the main consultation process involving the public in France regarding the energy and more generally public investment? The main one is public debate, which is required when a new installation is planned with a cost over 300 million euros. It applies for nuclear power plant, of course, but also for highway, trains, tracks, bridges, etc. And there is a National Commission of Public Debate which organizes these kind of things. At a lower scale, some public inquiry can also be conducted for minor projects. In this case, both cases, the operator who brought the project has to build a file and to explain during some public meetings and to make the file available also on the web, since the recent development of this electronic channel made it one of the major way for people to express themselves. But there are, so these were the standard procedure, I should say, but there are also some specific debates organized because of the policy. The government decided to do so, and recently, just finishing this month, there was a large one on the national debate on energy transition organized by the government in France. So this was a huge organization with a lot of people involved, a lot of working groups, citizen committee, contact group with the industry, contact group with the local debates. My purpose is not to deliver the results, because we are focusing on the process. So as far as the results of the debates are concerned, I took only one, which comes from the synthesis of the debates in the frame of the national one, which took place at the local scale. 850 local debates were labeled as being part contribution to the national debate, with a lot of participants. And I took 4 of the recommendations taken from this local stage debate: reinforce stakeholder involvement, stakeholder meaning both civil society, industry, consumer, users, to improve project acceptance. Reinforce citizen participation in local consultative commission regarding all public services investments, not only energy. Improve literacy of citizens before consultation process. Of course, literacy is my own translation to fit with civic exchange. In French, it's not literacy. It's much more information or education, but the idea is the same. Reinforce possibility for financial contribution of citizens in local projects. This one I sound a little, well, perhaps you will have questions on this, and I think it's interesting one. It's a new one. It comes mainly from the development of renewable at the local stage in France. Some personal comments. The debate was not perfect. A lot of NGO were excluded from the debate, mainly the one who were rather neutral or in favor of nuclear, and the one who were accepted and involved in the debate were mainly the one in favor of energy reduction, renewable. So there was kind of way for the government to decide who will participate and who will be consistent with the goal of the government in organizing the debate. So this is my personal view only. Insufficient attention to fossil. I explained that the deficit of the French balance of commercial exchange came mainly from the importation of fuel for the transportation sector. In this debate, the focus was put on electricity, which is only 1/4 of the issue. President Hollande, our French president, during his campaign, before being elected, made a commitment and confirmed after election to reduce from 75 to 50% in 2025 the share of nuclear in the electricity. So, of course, during such a debate, this was a high-level political commitment and could not be openly discussed, even if it is obviously the background of part of the debate. Insufficient attention to economical impact of scenarios. This means that for the development of renewable, for example, the cost of investment, the cost of land, all the economical challenges in face of renewable development, the grid development necessary to accept the intermittent energy coming from renewable, all this could not really be discussed. Okay, I'm going. My personal view is that all options to shape the future of sustainable energy mix should be considered without any dogmatism nor fashion effect. This figure shows what was required according to the International Energy Agency and what was observed, should be from 2011. And you see that what was observed in the development of solar photovoltaic is much more than what was expected. And in other cases, such as, for example, the CSP, the carbon sequestration, what was observed, which much less than what was required. So this is what I call the fashion effect. And probably the economy will draw this to some more realistic aspects in some years from now. But the energy is a long-term issue, so you can't have any implemented decision before 5 to 10 years when you are launching a process in this area. And the quotation down you will find in the slides afterwards is from the IEA Director General after the Fukushima accident. After the Fukushima accident, there was also a fashion effect, says, okay, everybody is going to stop nuclear. But in fact, the economic reason, the factor that contributed to the interest of nuclear didn't change after Fukushima. What changed is the safety constraints, the safety requirements for all the plants operated or in project, but not the constraints. So in France, the major recent part was the TSN Act. TSN means Transparency and Safety for Nuclear in 2006, what's quite recent. And it makes compulsory to have a local information committee near each nuclear installation to keep a watch over the installation, to inform local population, and also to conduct independent campaign of measurement in the environment. So here I introduce some data about the composition of this local commission. It includes both officials from the local government, utilities of course, and also NGO and people from the area, which is the main goal of the local information, independent experts. There are near all the facilities, not only the plants producing electricity, but all the nuclear facilities in France. And what was very new is that they were invited by the Nuclear Safety Authority to participate in the stress tests inspections after the Fukushima accident, which was quite innovative and was well accepted by the operators. The French perception of nuclear risks, we conduct some polls, of course, in France. Let's give 3 brief comments. The overall perception of nuclear risk is stable over time, except with some, let's say, exception after accidents, but on the long term it's stable. The risk hierarchy is perceived by the public as rational. This means that the economic concerns, unemployment, exclusion, poverty, always come above the other risks in the polls. And I think it's an interesting point to mention. And the public believes that risk management must rely on transparency, pluralism, and independence of expertise. So independence of expertise, it can come to some comment and question further in the debate with you. Public opinion nearby nuclear facilities, always more positive on nuclear than on the average. And to conclude, my last slide, as Veronica just told me that I have to stop. Local information commission, I think, could be a good way to speak with you and to discuss of what could be the adaptation of such a local structure in the Hong Kong case. Rigorous teaching of nuclear at every level of science in education is important, and we are not especially a good example in France regarding this point. We have to improve, and this also can be discussed with other countries for introduction of nuclear science in the education. And with, as with any other system, the citizen vigilance might drift to limits when the debate is impossible because of some of the opinion being, let's say, interrupting the debate or impeaching the other to speak. But however, these limits are specific to democracy, and building the debate is just a way to strengthen also the democracy. 2 points to finish. Involvement of citizens. Nothing in the industry can be done without that nowadays. And the second point, nothing can be done neither without the agreement and collaboration of the nuclear or energy operators, because they are the key. They are the one who makes the electricity. Okay, thank you.